Hey, welcome to Salopian Sessions. This episode we're going to talk about Major League Soccer. I know that's a very bizarre thing for me to say, but MLS has come on leaps and bounds. It's no longer that guy in the famous YouTube video shouting, "Fight and win! Fight and win!" and just like all that ridiculousness. They now not necessarily rival, but they're up there with the likes of South American and European supporter culture. I'd say it's probably more along those lines than British supporter culture, which has its ups and downs. So it's quite an interesting league to sort of follow, actually. They play late February, early March through to October, so a bit of a different sort of time scale from what we have. I wouldn't exactly call that summer football, but they do play through the summer. I'm personally a fan of the mighty Minnesota United, just because I studied out in a place called Eau Claire in Wisconsin, and very close to the border with Minnesota, and I know some Minnesotans and Wisconsinites who now live in Minnesota. And Wisconsin doesn't have a top level MLS team itself, so I had to go with Minnesota team. Although Wisconsin does have Flamingos, which are a bit lower down in the leagues, as it were. But a big shout out to my friend Sam Pfeiffer and his amazing podcast, Pod on You Loons, all about the Minnesota United team, who are nicknamed the Loons. They're fantastic. I listen to virtually every episode of that. So yeah, Major League Soccer. Obviously, we know of David Beckham going over to LA Galaxy back in the day. It started in '96, so maybe we've got that sort of like mid to late '90s, early 2000s image in our heads over here. But actually, we're now in 2022. Things have moved on since then. It's really respectable level of play there. I mean, they've got some very good players. I think quite often they go toe-to-toe with, say, championship teams. They might even be able to take on some Prem teams. That's up for debate, but it's an interesting one. They're not like just amateurs or anything like that. It's split into two conferences, East and West, so a bit of a different system from what we know, but it's still the game that we love. It's still football. They got 29 teams all in all. As of next year, currently there's 28, 25 of which are in the US and 3 in Canada, and obviously there's that sort of rivalry, cross-border rivalry there. But I think it's got its own like city-to-city rivalry as well, which makes it really interesting. So it's definitely worth finding a bit about, watching some highlights, and if you're up late or early, trying to catch a game on TV or something, or on the internet. But yeah, it's something that I don't think we should write off as British fans. Like, I'm not saying let's all support a particular MLS team or anything, but it's nice to have one. It doesn't do any harm, does it, to have one as like, oh, that's my MLS team there, who I sort of follow and keep up to date with, as well as our British team. Some of us, like myself, have more than one English team, like maybe one in the Prem and our local team, Shrewsbury Town, or maybe we grew up somewhere else and now we've moved here, or something like that. So it doesn't harm to have more than one team. And of course, if you're ever out on vacation out in the States or Canada, you can go and watch them and get some soccer in, as they call it. So yeah, I'd encourage you to sort of check out MLS and maybe open your mind a bit and change your thinking on what it really is like compared to what you might have in mind. So all I have to say now is, come on, you loons.